Two children, ages 4 and 2, gone without a trace for over a year. Their mother found dead in circumstances so mysterious that even after 12 months, investigators still can't determine how she died. This isn't just another missing persons case. This is the story of Angelica Bravo, a young mother whose death has left more questions than answers, and whose children have simply vanished into thin air, possibly taken across international borders by the one person who should have protected them. What I'm about to tell you will challenge everything you think you know about family dynamics, domestic relationships, and how quickly a life can be destroyed. Because Angelica's story isn't just about one tragic night in Sacramento. It's about a pattern of behavior that nobody saw coming until it was too late. July 8, 2024. Sacramento, California. A warm summer evening that should have been like any other. But for 28-year-old Angelica Bravo, this would be her last day on Earth. And for her two young children, Athena and Mateo, this would be the day they disappeared from their normal lives forever. Let me paint you a picture of who Angelica really was. This wasn't some tragic figure you see in news headlines. This was a vibrant, passionate woman who had turned her life around and was building something beautiful for herself and her children. Angelica was a hairdresser, but not just any hairdresser. She was someone who had discovered her calling and was pursuing it with the kind of dedication that inspires others. She had recently landed a position as an educator at the Mixed Institute of Cosmetology and Barber, teaching the next generation of beauty professionals. Her colleagues remember her as someone who loved giving back to students. She had walked the same path they were walking, starting as a student herself just months before being hired to teach. That's the kind of person Angelica was, someone who climbed the ladder and then reached back to help others up. But Angelica's real pride and joy were her children. 4-year-old Athena Lee and 2-year-old Mateo Lee weren't just her kids. According to everyone who knew her, they were her entire world. Everything she did, every decision she made, every dream she chased was centered around giving those children the best life possible. She also had an older daughter from a previous relationship, making her a mother of 3. The weight of that responsibility, the love she felt for those children, the fierce protection every mother feels, that's what makes what happened next so unthinkable. Now here's where the story gets complicated. Angelica had been in a relationship with a man named Cameron Lee, the father of Athena and Mateo. But by July 2024, they were no longer together. Cameron was her ex-boyfriend, and like many separated couples with children, they had to navigate the complex world of co-parenting. The house on Didcot Circle, where Angelica would ultimately be found, wasn't her home. It was Cameron's home, and that detail becomes crucial to understanding what happened next. July 3, 2024. This is the last confirmed date when Athena and Mateo were seen alive. Think about that for a moment. 5 days before their mother was found dead, these children were already gone. 5 days of what we can only imagine was growing concern, unanswered phone calls, and mounting anxiety. What was happening during those 5 days? Where were the children? Was Angelica frantically searching for them? Was she in contact with Cameron? Did she know something was wrong? Or was she reassured that everything was fine? These are the questions that haunt this case, because Angelica isn't here to answer them. July 8, 2024, 7:30 p.m. Sacramento police receive a call for medical aid at 3700 block of Didcot Circle. It's the kind of call that emergency responders get dozens of times every day. Someone needs medical attention, routine procedure. Send paramedics and officers to assist. But when they arrive at Cameron Lee's home, they discover something that transforms a routine medical call into one of Sacramento's most baffling mysteries. Angelica Bravo is inside the house. She's not breathing. There's no pulse. The 28-year-old mother who had been building a life for herself and her children is dead. The officers immediately secure the scene and call for detectives. This is now a death investigation, and every detail matters. They begin documenting everything, photographing the scene, looking for any clues that might explain what happened. But as they investigate, they make a discovery that changes everything. Angelica's two youngest children are nowhere to be found. Athena and Matteo, who should have been with their mother, are simply gone. The detectives immediately shift into high gear. This is no longer just a death investigation. This is potentially a double missing persons case involving two very young children. Every minute that passes without finding them increases the danger they might be in. They try to contact Cameron Lee, the children's father and the owner of the house where Angelica was found. But Cameron doesn't answer his phone. He doesn't respond to attempts to reach him. He's not at home, and nobody knows where he is. Now the police are dealing with three missing people. Two children who could be anywhere, and their father who has seemingly vanished at the exact moment their mother was found dead. July 9th, 2024. The morning after Angelica's body was discovered. Sacramento police make the decision that will define this case for the next year and beyond. They classify Athena and Matteo Lee as missing children and launch a full-scale search operation. The California Highway Patrol is contacted. An endangered missing advisory is prepared. The children's photos are distributed to law enforcement agencies across multiple counties. Every resource available is mobilized to find two children who have been missing for at least 6 days. But here's where the case takes a turn that nobody anticipated. As investigators dig deeper into the timeline, they discover something that makes their blood run cold. Cameron Lee's vehicle, a 2023 Honda Pilot, is missing too. And according to Border Patrol records, that vehicle crossed into Mexico on July 10th, just 2 days after Angelica's body was found. Mexico. The moment investigators learned that Cameron Lee's Honda Pilot had crossed the border, this case transformed from a local missing persons investigation into an international manhunt. And the implications were terrifying. Two American children, ages 4 and 2, had potentially been taken across international borders without their mother's consent. Their mother was dead. Their father was now a fugitive. And the Mexican border is over 1,500 miles long with countless places to disappear. July 11, 2024. The California Highway Patrol issues an endangered missing advisory for Athena and Matteo Lee. Their photos are broadcast across 7 California counties: Fresno, Kern, Kings, Los Angeles, Merced, Orange, and San Diego. The alert identifies Cameron Lee as the suspect in this endangered missing case. Now, you might be wondering why this wasn't classified as an Amber Alert, which would have generated much wider publicity and faster response. Here's the bureaucratic reality that probably cost precious time in this investigation. Sacramento police contacted CHP to request an Amber Alert. But as they were processing that request, Customs and Border Protection confirmed that the vehicle had already entered Mexico. CHP policy states that they cannot issue an Amber Alert for children who are no longer within U.S. borders. Think about the timing here. If that alert had been issued just hours earlier, before the border crossing, millions of people across multiple states would have been looking for that Honda Pilot. Border Patrol agents would have been specifically watching for it. The entire trajectory of this case might have been different. July 19, 2024. 11 days after Angelica's death, Sacramento police receive news that should have been a breakthrough, but instead deepens the mystery. The Honda Pilot has been found in Ensenada, Mexico, about 70 miles south of the U.S. border. But here's the crucial detail. The vehicle is unoccupied. Cameron Lee, Athena, and Matteo are nowhere to be found. The car that was supposed to lead investigators to the children has been abandoned, leaving absolutely no trail to follow. Ensenada is a coastal city with a population of over 500,000 people. It's a major transit hub with connections to the rest of Mexico and beyond. From Ensenada, you can travel anywhere in Mexico by bus, plane, or boat. The children could be literally anywhere by this point. Mexican authorities searched the vehicle thoroughly, looking for any clues about where the occupants might have gone. The forensic examination reveals that the children were indeed in the vehicle during the trip to Mexico, confirming what everyone feared. Athena and Mateo had been taken across the border against their will. Meanwhile, back in Sacramento, Angelica's family is living through every parent's worst nightmare. Not only have they lost a beloved daughter and sister, but two innocent children have been ripped away from everything they've ever known. Dawn Bodea, Angelica's mother, speaks to the media with the kind of raw emotion that cuts through all the procedural updates and legal complexities. She describes feeling devastated, shattered by the loss of her daughter and the disappearance of her grandchildren. "We want Mateo and Athena back," says Cecilia Spencer, Angelica's sister. "That's just what we need right now." The simplicity of that statement, "we just want the children back," captures the heart of this tragedy. The investigation has expanded to include multiple law enforcement agencies across 2 countries, but the trail has gone completely cold. No credible sightings of Cameron Lee or the children. No financial transactions that can be traced. No digital footprint that leads anywhere useful. January 2025. 6 months after Angelica Bravo's death, her family finally receives the autopsy results they've been desperately waiting for. They hope these findings will provide answers, clarity, some explanation for why their daughter and sister died so young. Instead, the autopsy report delivers a blow that leaves them more confused and heartbroken than ever before. The cause of death is listed as undetermined. Not homicide, not accident, not natural causes, undetermined. After 6 months of forensic analysis, the Sacramento County coroner cannot definitively say how Angelica Bravo died, but here's what makes this even more disturbing. The coroner's office tells KCRA-TV that they cannot rule out 3 possible causes: asphyxiation, drug overdose, or homicide. Toxicology reports reveal that multiple drugs were present in Angelica's system at the time of her death. Gilbert Bravo, Angelica's grandfather, speaks for the entire family when he tells KCRA, "We are as numb as we were the day that we found out my granddaughter was killed." The word "killed" is deliberate. This family believes Angelica was murdered, regardless of what the official paperwork says. February 2025. Sacramento police make a crucial announcement. Cameron Lee is no longer just a person of interest or someone they want to question. He is now officially considered a murder suspect, and an arrest warrant has been issued for him. This designation change suggests that investigators have developed evidence connecting Cameron Lee directly to Angelica's death, even if the autopsy couldn't determine the exact cause. The warrant transforms this case from a missing persons investigation into an active manhunt for a murder suspect who has 2 young children with him. As of July 2025, Athena Lee and Mateo Lee remain missing. Their mother's killer remains free. Justice has been delayed, possibly denied entirely. Dawn Bodea continues her relentless campaign to keep the case visible, posting flyers throughout Sacramento and maintaining social media presence. No, we still don't have any idea yet. It could be anywhere, really, in California and Mexico. I mean, it's been so long now that they could be anywhere, Bodea tells reporters. The geographical scope of the search has expanded to include the possibility that the children were brought back into the United States illegally. The 1-year anniversary memorial serves as both a tribute to Angelica and a renewed plea for information. "You know, we miss her very much. Her fire, her passion for life, the love that she had for children and those around her. She was just such a vibrant, beautiful young woman," Dawn Bodea says at the memorial. This story isn't over. Cold cases are solved every day, sometimes decades after the original crime. International fugitives are captured when they least expect it. Missing children are found and reunited with their families against all odds. If you have any information about this case, if you've seen Cameron Lee or believe you've encountered these children, contact Sacramento Valley Crime Stoppers at 916-443-HELP. Callers can remain anonymous and may be eligible for a reward. Angelica Bravo's story reminds us that behind every crime statistic is a real family destroyed by violence. Her children deserve justice. They deserve to know the truth about their mother. They deserve to come home to the family that loves them and has never stopped looking for them. Time is still on their side. They're young enough to recover from this trauma with proper support. They're old enough to remember their real family when they're found. And somewhere in Mexico or California or wherever they are now, they're waiting for someone to rescue them. Don't let Angelica Bravo's children become another cold case statistic. Don't let their story fade from memory. Keep sharing, keep caring, and keep believing that justice is possible. Because somewhere out there, 2 children are waiting to come home.